welcome to Digging In with Tamara. I am Tamara, and I would like to review with you the book of Genesis, chapter 1, just chapter 1, and maybe a part of chapter 2. And this involves the creation from the beginning of the heavens and the earth to the creation of Adam and Eve. So let's just jump right into it. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So already we have a lot to unpack here. God is obviously speaking and doing things. And therefore, if he's speaking and making things happen, then we need to understand who God is. So let's take a look at the book of John. John 1:1 says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." So if the Word was with God and the Word was God, then God is obviously the Father, and the Word is being spoken by him. That is why it's with him. And his Word is light. And he has a soul, which is the power of his life that allows him to create and to do work. The reason his body is obedient to him is because it's controlled by his mind. Your head controls your body because you tell your body what to do. The Father is the mastermind. He is the master of minds, the chief architect. He is the one that says, okay, this is what I want. Now, Word, which is the voice of instruction, go and do it. God created the heaven and the earth. When we look at the Hebrew word for heaven, it is shamayim or samayim. Samayim is actually two words. Shah means peace or peaceful. But when you look at the symbols, and I'm going to need you to really focus here. When you look at the symbols in this top box, where you see the smooth Y and then the curvy Y and then a little boxy circle, the Hebrew is read from right to left. So that smooth Y, that means righteous or righteousness. The curvy Y means power, and the boxy symbol means body. So when you put these together, you get a body of righteous power, or a body of power that is righteous. So you can put those letters in any order and you will still get the same understanding. And ultimately, when you consider what these words mean altogether, a body of righteous power, this is talking about peace. So in the bottom box, where you see the Samayim, this S-A-M is really the same as the S-E-M above. But instead, it's using the word peace. So Sham, that's peace. And Mayim means heaven or waters. So together, when you put these together, you get the peaceful body of waters. So then the heaven is actually a body of waters. It's power. So when the earth was created, it was under the water. So let's go back to Genesis. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So the earth had no shape yet, and it was void. He had not yet put anything on it. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. So you could not discern what was under the water just by looking at it. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Now, what is the Spirit of God referring to? It's referring to his mind, which is spirit. And by the power in him, he looked upon the face of the deep. So he's using these to create. These are not three separate entities, three separate persons. God is one. He himself is using these parts of himself to create. Okay, so now let's see what he's going to do. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Notice that God doesn't say he created this light. So now he's going to use that light, which is his word that comes out of the mind and mouth of the Father, to create the things of heaven and earth. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. So God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Now, why did he call this light day and the darkness? Why did he call night? So he's calling the light day because that's when things are visible. Likewise, he's calling the darkness night because that's when things are usually hidden. Therefore, when you have light, you're able to discern. With darkness, it's as if you are blind. Also, God is assigning a length of time to the light and to the darkness. So the light he is calling day, and day is equal to 12 hours. Also, night is equal to 12 hours. And the combination of the two equals 24 hours, which God calls a day. The evening and the morning were the first day. All right. So God says, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Now, this firmament has to be extremely strong, and I'm sure this is a lot of water. And it has to be able to keep those things separate, the waters below from the waters above. And it says, "And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day." And then God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together to one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. It's as if the land was being lifted up, and the water itself is under the earth and around the earth. And God can start to work with this. And he even says, "And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas." Because it's not like the seas were divided in terms of north, south, east, and west. They were divided according to their depths. So at the topmost level, at the surface of the water and down a certain distance, you would call that the first sea. And then below that, down to a certain deeper distance, that would be called the second sea. And below that, down to the seabed, would be the third sea. So these were called seas, one stacked upon the other. And it says, "And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And I don't want to just keep reading without pointing something out. It says that the herb yielded seed, and that the fruit tree also yielded seed after his kind. And the seed was in itself. What God designed it to do is what it will do forever, unless it's manipulated. And the evening and the morning were the third day. So now we're starting the fourth day, and it says, "And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years." God said he put the lights in the firmament, not on top of the firmament. It's that part of the firmament that holds up the waters that are above. Inside this firmament are the sun, moon, and stars. The firmament allows the sun and the moon and stars to rise and set and ride in their courses. The size of these lights cannot be larger than the earth itself because the firmament is the covering of the earth. We have a dome over the earth, and this dome keeps everything that's under it inside, and that includes the sun, the moon, and the stars. These celestials, the sun, moon, and stars, help us to calculate days, months, seasons, and years, but they also show us signs in heaven. You see constellations, you see the phases of the moon. There are actually 10 phases. Each of these phases lasted 3 days, and each of the 12 months had 30 days. And if you multiply that 30 days by 12, you get 360 days. That is how many days are in a Hebrew calendar year. So then we have, and let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that has life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And so that will be our atmosphere. These fowl, these birds, are going to fly in the open firmament. The sun, the moon, and the stars are separate, like a separate heaven from where we are. So let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that has life, and the fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moves, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind. A whale produces a whale. A shark, a dolphin, a dolphin. A goldfish, a goldfish. And it is crazy sometimes I think about it. If you believe God, and He says everything produces after its kind, then you know that a human being did not come from some other type of creature. So it says, and God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. So now we're going to start the sixth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after its kind, cattle and creeping thing, and the beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And what is a cattle? When I looked at cattle, it brought up the word behemoth. And behemoth is another word for behemoth. And these are very large, four-legged animals, very strong, large herbivores. They had a vegetarian diet. They ate green vegetation, that is, the grass of the ground to the leaves at the tops of the trees. Cattle were the very large animal, from the ox, the cow, a bison, on up to the dinosaur with the long neck and the long tail. That's what that cattle consisted of. And then the creeping things, these were the ones that were very low to the ground. They would just walk upon the ground. And I'm including the snake in this, though they slither and they slide, but these were the creeping things. So all of these things produce after their kind. You know, even the snake. You don't see a snake producing a alligator. I'm trying to keep it reptilian. So anyway, it says, and God said, let us make man in our image. That image is to give man a mind, a conscience, and a word to instruct the body. And the soul is to do any type of work. And so God says, okay, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Okay, let's stop right here for a moment so I can address the elephant in the room. God says, let us make man. And the elephant is the word us. The us is God, his word, and his power. But so it's rather a figure of speech that he's using, but at the same time, he's letting us know the different parts of him. These three, the Father, which is the head, the Word, which is the body, and the soul, which is the life, even the strength of life. He's using these three to create. Okay, and let's continue. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. It must have been nice back in those days, because there was no fear that an animal would attack you and try to eat you, or that you would be harmed. You could encounter any of these things, and they would fear you. You would not have to fear them. He's given them understanding so that they can discern their environment and make sense of it. And it says, after our likeness. Well, what is this likeness? You know, these are the attributes of God. And he's saying, hey, I want them to have these things. And let them have dominion over everything. So, okay. And so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. He's talking about Adam and Eve, though he has not mentioned their names yet. So, and it says, and God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. It was theirs. The earth belonged to them. God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. This is what you're going to eat. I'm giving you what you need to survive, to enjoy life in this place. So that's your meat. Your meat is the fruit of the trees and the herbs of the earth. And he says, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good, he says. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Now, I'm going to go to chapter 2 because I want you to see the creation of Eve. But God said in chapter 2, verse 18, he says, and the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. So this word meat here just means something fit for something else. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air and brought them unto Adam. So he brings all these things to Adam to see what he would call them. Now, if Adam had no understanding, he could never name these animals. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, God took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, from Adam, made he a woman and brought her unto the man. And by the way, the name Adam means man. So anyway, Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. So you know all the fuss about what is a woman? Everyone's trying to figure out, what is a woman? Well, the Bible tells us she's called a woman because she was taken out of man. Inside the bones of the body are systems that create new cells. Cells for your hair, your skin, your liver, your heart, and the sex or gender. To make her female, he used Adam's DNA. So when Adam and Eve will come together to produce a child, being that everything produces after its kind, they could only produce a male child or a female child, a boy or a girl, born of the kind of Adam, of the image of Adam, of the species of man. And we know that Adam means man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. So anyway, thank you all for joining me, and I hope that this review has been edifying, and God bless you. Enjoy your day, night, morning, and I hope to have you join me again soon.